I've had tons of students come up to me and say, hey Noah, I'm happy with my serve performance, but it doesn't look like I know what I'm doing. Some people are embarrassed to tell their friends that they play tennis because of how their serve looks. It looks nothing like what everyone expects, which is what the pros do. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how to serve like a pro, which has two advantages. One, you look good, and two, you're going to be doing the correct pro techniques that are going to level up your serve. So let's get straight into it. The first thing that most people get wrong is the first thing about their serve, and that's the grip and the stance. So you need to make sure that you're using a continental grip, absolutely. But this is not normally the problem. Normally, people struggle with how to set up their stance on the serve. So let's get straight into that. Now, there are quite a few things that you need to know about your stance, and I go over all of them in this serve formula course, link in description. But for today, to make sure that we're looking like a pro, you must be making sure that you are having your feet in the correct position and bending your legs correctly. What does the correct feet positioning look like? If you imagine you face on, we're going to instead move side on with our left foot up against the line. Then from here, we're going to be pointing our left foot to the rightmost net post. And the right foot, the toes are going to move back behind the heel of the left foot. Something like that. Our feet want to be shoulder width apart, all right? And they look like so. This is the best way to start learning what the best foot position is for you. So we're going to just start off like this. Then, if we really want to take it up to the next level and look like a pro while we serve, we need to make sure that we are using our weight and bending our legs. So my chest is going to go over my left knee, and I'm just going to be bending my legs like so. This is going to allow us to shift our momentum better as we serve, allowing us for more power in our strike. Second biggest problem people have is their backswing. So many people get the backswing wrong, and this is what's making you look like you don't know what you're doing. This is probably the biggest reason. When you think about your serve, you need to be thinking about this little mantra here. Your arms need to go down together, up together. The backswing is the down together and into that up together part, whereas the up together is the trophy position. So when we're in this stance position here and we move back, we need to make sure that both of our arms move down together. A lot of players do some variation of down with the right arm and then toss with the left arm, or sometimes they go like this, okay? They don't do it in sync. And every pro does this in sync because it's the best way to do it. You need to make sure that you're getting this down together, up together motion every single time. Now, if you want to hit powerfully like a pro every single time, you want to get that speed that looks like you could be on the tour, then we need to make sure that we are reaching up to the ball every single time. What does reaching up to the ball mean, and how is that going to elevate our power? Well, reaching up to the ball just means that you're getting higher, okay, with your racket as you serve. And to get higher as you serve, you're going to need to be jumping. Now, what those two things are going to do for you, it's going to make your angle into the service box a whole lot better because you're reaching up higher. But you're also going to be able to use your weight on the serve, okay, as long as you get any sort of distance above the ground as you serve. So a key part of this is allowing yourself to toss high enough so that you can allow yourself to reach up that high. So your toss should be 1.5 times your height, or another measurement that I like to use is to make sure that when your arm is extended, that your toss is entering the middle of your racket strings there. Now, this isn't going to get the ball in, but if we jump, then we are going to be able to get that angle, okay? We're going to get that extra height necessary to angle that into the service box. So that's why we use that measurement. But essentially, if you toss high enough, then you're going to have to jump to be able to reach up to that toss and strike it in time while it's at the apex. Now, a big mistake people make when they try to reach up onto the serve by tossing a little higher is that they, instead of actually jumping and actually reaching up even higher, what they do is they toss higher, which is great, but then they allow the toss to just drop, okay, instead of actually reaching for it at the apex, which makes it more difficult for them, okay, because you need to offset the momentum of the ball dropping with your own momentum. And so then you hit more balls into the net because you're trying to hit it harder and then it just doesn't work out. So you need to make sure that you are lifting off the ground and getting the height to be able to reach up into your serve every single time. Now, one of my students, Johnny, came to me with this exact problem, but he didn't even know it yet. He sent me a video of his serve and I took a look at it and I could instantly tell that this is what was affecting his serve. And then in 24 hours, we were able to transform his serve just with this one tip, just by getting a small amount of elevation as he struck the ball. And now with some extra tips along the way, his serve is night and day. If you want to get free feedback on any part of your game, including the serve, from me, you can join the link in my description. It's a Skool community with a bunch of like-minded tennis players that are going to help you improve. Now, this next tip is going to make sure you actually look like a pro while you serve, because it separates amateurs from good players on knowing how to do this properly, and that is following through correctly. So when we follow through this, I'm going to break this down into 2 tips. The first one being is that we're going to make sure that we are landing with our left leg, okay? So as we hit the step up or the platform, it doesn't matter. What we're going to do is, as we strike the ball, we're going to jump and land with our left leg first. Right leg is going to be up. So if I'm not following through correctly, if I'm falling into the court or stumbling in, then it's going to be very difficult for me to react to a fast return. So to make sure that we're able to react quickly, we need to make sure we're landing with our left leg, and we're going to use this momentum, okay, to either spring out to the wide angle with our right leg, okay, or we're just going to plant ourselves, and this is essentially going to act as a split step. So from this foot here, okay, we're going to land like this, and then we're going to spring out as a split step. Now, if you don't know what a split step is, it's essentially where we use both of our feet to lift off the ground, and then as they land again, we use the momentum to spring off into the next shot. So essentially, we're going to have our left foot here, okay, and then we're going to land with our feet together, all right, and then we're going to spring off with that split step. So it'll look something like this. So let's say I serve, okay, fast return, I'm already off, okay, because both of my feet are in the air, so I have that split step potential. Now you can also have it so that once you land with your left leg, you're essentially just already leaping with your right foot if you need to take it out wide. So being able to throw our weight off that left leg and be able to sprint towards that shot is really, really powerful. And you're not going to get caught out as often if you're able to split step right after your serve. Now, the second tip for the follow through, and like I said, this is the big one when it comes to looking like a pro while you serve, looking like you know what you're doing, is when we serve, okay, it doesn't matter what serve you do, okay? If you serve and then you collapse your arms like this, everyone's going to think you're a dunce. So on our follow through, and this doesn't matter what kind of serve you do, your tossing arm is going to move across your body and then back behind yourself like so. So of course you won't have the ball at that point because you would have tossed it and served it. So it's going to come down and back behind here. And then our racket arm is going to move across our body and down here. So both of our hands are now on the opposite side of our body from the racket arm. Okay, they're over here, all right? What's not going to happen is it's not going to look like this, okay? It's not going to look like this, okay? I see so many amateur players make this mistake where they're not following through properly with their left arm. They forget about it. And so what happens is it gets caught in here, and this is super, super off-putting when it comes to trying to get ready for that next return. So what it's going to do, it's going to throw you off balance, okay? And you're not going to be able to be ready for that return, that fast return. So you need to make sure that your left arm and your racket arm are coming across your body like so. Now, there are a ton of mistakes that people make when serving, a lot of common ones. So if you need to make sure that you're not doing those, check out this video here. I'll see you in the next one.